Hi, it's me, Scott. Every time I start streaming, it's just a fun game to try to remember what I forgot. I think I did this stuff. Possibly. Hi. Hello there. Hope you had a nice weekend. We're gonna... Got, like, pigtails today. Just nice pigtails. I think we're gonna work on that video thing today. Maybe Kyle will show up and be the boss. You see that? Look at this stupid thing. I had to buy a paper shredder, which... Two things are upsetting about that. One, the fact that I have to own a paper shredder is upsetting to me because it's all stuff that was sent to me. It's all stuff that came in the mail, and I don't want any mail. I don't want anybody to send me anything in the mail. That's already annoying enough. And then that it's like got a bunch of personal information on it, personal whatever health and financial information. So then I have to shred it. It's not cool. It kind of sucks. The other thing, well, we won't get into the other thing. But we will pick some wallpaper. That's what we'll do. It's a nice looking ride. Some buildings, great. Some beautiful tulips. Okay. Great. Great picture. And what are we looking at here? Is that a microphone windscreen? Or an animal? Or a hat? This is a beautiful door. Oh, okay, now I remember the thing I forgot. Okay, good. Came to me. Let's go do this. Do this. Now we're good, right? We have audio, all that stuff? Yeah, great. Nice boat. This is a little more mysterious version of that playground, because now the gondola's in a tree. That's kind of nice. Let's do this one. Okay, so we are gonna look at glitch.com, and we're gonna log in. We're gonna say this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And then we're gonna do that wrong. I'm gonna try again. Really struggling here today. I don't know why. Okay, so we got this thing. It's the video police. So right now it can show YouTube videos, and that's fine. It's fine. Night mode. I don't remember how. Change theme. So we got all this nonsense in here. And the thing that's a problem, potentially, one problem is that this is just starting to look a little annoying because it's a lot of stuff crammed to one file. So that's a little bit annoying. The other thing is, if we want to start to add Twitch stuff to this, do we want to break it out into another file so it's a little less cramped? Possibly. Also, anytime we do anything, we have to be aware of, like, you know, if you're playing a Twitch video and then you ask for a YouTube video, we need to kill the YouTube video. And that's annoying. So I think I think we want to... I think we gotta start breaking stuff up a little bit. At a minimum, let's break the YouTube stuff out. So we could have a main.js. And we could have a source lib youtube.js. Like YouTube bridge. I don't have to call it. We just want to call it YouTube because they have their own API for that. So we want to have like our own bridge. Whatever. Let's call it YT for now. And then the thing is that we'd want to do is let's take all this stuff and stick it in. Ugh, I've been in Vim mode in Visual Studio. So this might prove to be a challenge. I'm just gonna hit the wrong shortcut for every single thing. Okay, then we're gonna go over here. We're gonna do this. So that should hopefully have us back to normal-ish. I mean, at least in terms of no errors, hopefully. Okay, so we've created a YouTube player. Now, how do you do this in a browser? Can you? Like, can you just straight up do this? Internet Explorer. Safari on iOS? Cannot do, really? What are you doing, Safari? Oh, that's in workers. I see. I think that's okay. Oh, we don't. Who cares? So, but what's the like this is different syntax than we would use node side, right? Like if we want to you know, because normally you do like module that exports. So I just never really do this node side. This really all it is just export the thing. That's interesting. Does this mean we don't? What? Why does this matter? Why does that matter? I don't understand why you need that. I should have stayed with MDM. Like, why does that matter? Why can't I just do this anyway? Okay, whatever. So But I want a whole class. So modules and classes. So what is our... That seems weird. Like, what if you don't wrap it here? Can you just import square? You know? Like if we had class... and whatever. Or do you just have to do it? You have to do it that way. Where did I get the word square? I'm just looking at square over there. YouTube bridge. Like, is that not, are we not cool? Import statement outside a module. So you're saying I do need type equals module? So if I just do this here, that's a little weird though, right? Like, does that make sense? Node.js 26. Eval or arguments in strict mode. You just don't like that? You're actually source lib. You don't like this. I mean, are you sure? Do you like this? Okay. So now we want to start moving all this here's where we actually set stuff up. So we can just I can't remember. Is this right? And then all these other methods. On player state change. Actually use that done? No. Then all of these will become, you know, they'll just live inside our buddy. over here, which means we no longer need this is all a bit of a mess. So let's break this out of here. So these are like, I don't know how we're gonna, this kind of sucks. Like this probably is just a thing that gets called no matter what. Like, so we may not, that just may never happen.
Don't cry.
So, and then this ES6 syntax, we don't have the function prefix. Yeah, I'm a little worried that this stuff doesn't happen. You know, like that this function doesn't get called. It may need to be at the window level. Any web page, but this is like where does this need to exist? This has to live. Like, does that mean that that has to must be in the global scope? Yeah, that's pretty dumb, but this seems like, I guess, the way to do it. Not great. Not great, but seems like the way to do it is, hey, it said copy that. Copy that. Something like this instead. I feel like that didn't work. Oh, because we're not actually constructing this. Okay, so with all that stuff, or whatever we want to do. We want to just like, Kyle, how's it going? I'm trying to do this, but now I'm making things more complicated. So we'll call this how was your Easter? So we said we want a new one of these, but we're not seeing that. Why aren't we seeing this? Oh, well, sure, because we're not playing anything yet. So we'd really want to see this just to know that it's getting called, which I think it will now, but I'm wrong. So what fun thing am I doing wrong? Is this not how ES6 constructors work? Did you just say constructor? All right, you just say constructor, and that's all. And then we put that in the global scope, and we said that that is equal to this. Did I not copy that right? Yeah, like this is what we want, isn't it? Anything out of the ordinary? Not really. My life is still kind of on pause, you know? Waiting for the world to not be ending. Okay. Why are you broken? Why doesn't this fire... How come? You would think that doing this... Bridge. So we're doing that, right? We're doing this thing. YouTube, we're making a new YouTube bridge. Import YouTube bridge. We have export default YouTube bridge. That's YouTube bridge. What's going on here? Is there a reason the constructor's not being called? Why is the constructor not being called? Probably just doing something wrong. You know, like export default, that's the class. So we're exporting that class. What silly thing have I done? A new YouTube bridge. I need Life is Yours to come tell me what terrible mistake I'm making. Why is the constructor not being called? What? I don't want to do this. I want to export the whole class. So we're going to import our buddy there. We're going to have a whole class. We have default export is that function. So we're going to say let my class Is this just not the right way to do this? But if you're a class, I'm sure I'm just not getting this because the syntax is just a little bit different. I'll be here any second, I know, to save the day. Or to not save the day, but just to like distract me enough that we get it right. Export class. So this is like, we got a class here. We're export default YouTube bridge. Yeah, export default. I mean, it would that should be functionally the same as this, right? Export default. We make a YouTube bridge over here. Then we say import YouTube bridge from our dude, and that's a class. So now we have to create it, like instantiate. What? We got a class, we got a constructor. And then this needs to be a new one of those. So whatever. Like, is it one of those? I'm just doing something silly. Player div's not defined, that's all fine. Why isn't the constructor being called? Why? I mean, just almost certainly doing something silly. Like, why? Why? Up, wow. No. For some mysterious reason, the constructor doesn't get called. Should I just not be doing this? There's some catch here. Export class to do. Import to do. Like, why would the constructor not get called? What's my problem? We said it's a type module. Import to do. And this guy's gonna say, how do you do it? Yeah, you make a new to do. What? What's your problem, man? I mean, alternatively, you know, this should be the same. I am, before even doing the Twitch thing, I'm trying to re-architect this so it's a little less messy, because we're gonna try to manage Twitch and YouTube. It's gonna be a little annoying because they're gonna they have overlapping functionality, and so I don't want it all tangled up. So I'm trying to break all the YouTube stuff out to its own module, so it's like a separate thing that we have full control over. And then, what? Why? Why are you so broken? Like this, the constructor just... Oh, I misspelled it. Is that literally the problem? That it was misspelled this whole time? It was misspelled this whole time. I thought I even cut and pasted over the top to make sure I didn't misspell it. Okay, great. Awesome. Very good. Oh boy. Well. Great. You know, in another language, we wouldn't have had that problem. But JavaScript, there's no rules. Okay, now how do we work the way we should have worked? Yes, on player ready is not defined. Okay, so we this is gonna be a little annoying, but not too annoying, because these are probably just this dots. Yeah, this sucks, actually. Shoot. So this has to be a global function. Oh no, I'm doing great. Totally classic. Type the wrong words and then don't have like any sort of warning or compilation error or anything because it's JavaScript. This sucks, actually. Okay, so actually, this shouldn't be too bad. So part of it's just because the this is wrong. So that should fix the this. Oops. And then we'll have player will be wrong. So I don't know exactly what we want to do about that. Player, we probably just want to do this. And just have, so it'll be like yt.player. And then the div, okay, yeah. And then all these, how do we say what div we want to use, actually? How did we determine that? So we're like creating this nonsense and we're just cramming it. This is really silly. Like to do this dynamically instead of just putting it in there, but whatever. How do you know? How do we know what div the player's in? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we? I don't know how we know. How are we determining that? How are we saying that the player div? I just don't understand. Like, what was our relationship? So we have something called player and we have player container, but how does YouTube know that? Because all we do is we do this and then we say, hey, oh, it's this. This is just the name of the div. I think all it is you give it the, so its constructor wants, no, where's the actual documentation, please? Its constructor wants where's the whole, can you just tell me? First parameter, either the DOM element or the ID. Okay, so let's just say the div that we want to put it in. Because then something like that. And then, because then that almost will make these other guys work. Not quite. But it should just be that. And then we just need to feed in, when we create our dude, we're just going to feed it the player div. So I'll have a main div and then a player div. And we'll have to rework that to make it work with Twitch, but let's ignore that for a minute. That's not how you write code. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of broken stuff, but hopefully not too awful. This guy actually shouldn't be in here. This guy is high level. Okay, so some of these methods need to just fall into that, like mute and unmute and stop and play. I thought I had conveniently, yes it did, okay. Here's our important test. And it's broken. Wait, I can hear it but not see it. Probably means small. Is display none still. So I think we're still missing this visible/invisible thing. Play YouTube video, visible equals true. This.playerDiv.style.display. Kind of tempted to do that with classes instead of direct styling on there, but that still should have worked. So what is our issue? Like that worked. It's like it just didn't. The player div, is that actually true? Do we actually? Player div, that's the player container. But that's what gets swapped out. Did that actually work before? I think it did, because I don't think we changed it. But now it looks weird. Because that like replaces, it doesn't like put it inside. It totally replaces it. Well, actually, that's scratched out. Like it should have a style. Wait a minute. This has no style? It's setting the class properly, but that display none feels wrong. So we have the player div, we pass the player div. This is probably a thing that in another language would work. We set this.playerDiv equals to that parameter, and then we play the video. We say this.playerDiv Is this some dumb thing about how the thises work? I don't think so. You play YouTube video. That's the div. Does this just not exist anymore? That's actually really weird. How did this work before? Like, huh? How? It's like it swaps out this div, but then that div isn't right anymore. So that means it's ready, and then we say the player. So actually, this dot player, can we just get the div from that? Just want the div. Set size, cell live. Really? Can I not have the div? Really? Really? Because it's like, how's this not working? Weird. We'll place the video. The constructor replace the div. As an alternative, you can also put the div directly on the page. Replace the specified element with the iframe element containing player. Well, now I don't understand how this could have worked before. Because we're going to give it the player div. You know, so it's like, we do this before and after. But that's not the actual thing. Like, this doesn't exist anymore. Div ID player container and then div ID with a player inside. This is what it was before. I'm confused. So what did we actually decide? How did we decide to do this? We decided there is a container. So actually, the container is what gets all the... We don't want to replace the container. We want to place the div inside it. So this is not correct. Because this is saying to use the player container div when really we want let player. So we have two options. One option is just create a new div inside there, which I think sounds better. So instead of replacing this dude, does we ever talk about player itself? No. So okay, let's try this real fast. This feels a little sloppy, but like, because that's really the player container div, and there's a separate player div is another is also a thing, but we may not actually care about it ever. Okay, and we can do like top, left, medium, mute, muted. Player div is not defined. It says here. Oh yeah, all these. Okay. So now if we do this, seems right. We instead said like small bottom left or bottom right. Mute. Okay. So we're back to being somewhat functional with our YouTube stuff, except now, you know, the YouTube logic itself is simpler. Now the thing that kind of sucks though, and I just don't really know how we want to do this. Like, if you issue a Twitch related command, yeah, I don't exactly know. It's like, if you say you want to play a YouTube video, you kind of have to hide, you know, automatically hide, destroy, pause the Twitch video. And the container could stay the same. I don't know. Well, let's just make it and see. What? Okay. Whatever. Okay, so we got this guy. So we don't, this API, like, I assume works the same-ish, but we'll see. What was it? We want the non-interactive, embedded. No. We want documentation. Embed, where'd you go? Embed, non-interactive. So, wait, no, we need interactive because we're going to talk to it. Yeah. So we got to do this nonsense. And it wants this. Let's just do that with YouTube also. Like, why? This just feels kind of dumb. The YouTube thing that, like, injects. I don't know which one's more dumb. Like, we could do this also. The way they do it, where it's like get the last, like you insert before the first script tag. It's pretty weird. Let's try it. Let's see how broken it is. Just so we're doing them the same way. So we want to do something where we say, we'll need a Twitch player and a YouTube player. And we probably want to, you know, that's kind of a bad idea. Let's just do it for a second. We'll probably want to create those dynamically. Twitch player. And then let's spell this correctly. We don't need to do this anymore. How's it going, man? You're learning web development? How's it going? Are you a pro now? Do you want to take over this project for me so I don't have to do it anymore? And then Kyle can make you do this and not me? Is that blasphemy? I can't outsource. I can't outsource the work. Can't believe we've already spent an hour and this doesn't even work yet. Okay, so we will similarly want a player here. We'll probably want a player div. You know? I mean, you know, sometimes you're familiar with the auteur theory of directing. That means the director is the author of the work. So if I direct somebody to do this, it's basically the same as if I made it, right? I think that checks out. Okay, YouTube bridge, Twitch, Brit. Oh no. I don't know how I end up in insert mode sometimes in Glitch. Twitch bridge from Twitch bridge what did we call this? TTB? Is that what we want it to be? Twitch bridge. It's also going to go in the player container div. Oh, you're the auteur. I see. I'm just your puppet. Atom's okay. I'm not a big fan of Atom. It has some problems with it, but it's like an Electron-based editor. So is Visual Studio Code. So is everything now. So they're pretty similar. I mean, all these are really consts. We don't ever change this stuff, right? Ever? Do we ever change any of that? I don't think we do. Prove me wrong. Okay, Twitch is not defined in Twitch Bridge. Is that because of the dumb thing we did here? And we just don't know when it's ready? Like, first of all, did that dumb thing actually work? It's here. So it sort of seems like it worked, but maybe, you know, without the stupid callback, how do we know? How do we know? So maybe we can't do this dumb thing, even though I think this dumb thing is kind of funny now. Now I've come around on the dumb thing, and I love it, and it's my favorite dumb thing. But that would just mean we have to do this instead. I just don't want them to be inconsistent. Like, they could be one way or the other, but like, okay, a channel, a video, or a collection ID must be provided in options. And that's kind of stupid because I want to have a player. I want to have a player ready to go, you know? So let's just default it to me for now. Oh, is that bad, actually? Can we not change the channel? No, we can set the channel. So it's dumb. So we have to have a channel to start with. So we'll just make the channel default to me, I guess. Because of course it should default to me. Well, so Atom is an editor. It's just it's an IDE, an integrated development environment, but which basically means it's just a really fancy text editor. It's from the GitHub people. And it is based on, it's written in JavaScript, basically. It's an Electron app. So under the hood, it's really just kind of a web browser. So, which now a lot of things are. So it's just it's a tool and you can mess with it a lot and it's got a lot of extensions and it just does a lot of stuff. From GitHub. Visual Studio Code is what we usually use on stream, and it's almost the same thing. Like, it's a very similar idea, but it's made by Microsoft. And the reason I use it instead really is because it has an integrated debugger that integrates with stuff that I use, like Unity. So if I didn't care about that, maybe Atom would be fine. I've used Atom some in the past and it had some annoying things about it, but that was years ago. So like, you use whatever you want. You could type in Notepad, you could use Sublime Text, you could use whatever. I just use Visual Studio Code primarily because when I'm doing Unity development, I want that debugger. So, you know, it doesn't have much bearing on what you're making because you can write any programming language in any editor. It's just how much help you're getting from the editor. And in a lot of ways, Atom is kind of geared a bit towards web development, but I'm sure you can write any language you want in Atom if you feel like it. I just don't think it has a debugger. I think you have to use a separate debugger. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, and then, which is better for front-end development, UI UX? It's kind of up to your preference. I mean, Atom is probably fine. Like, there's plenty of different editors, but plenty of people will probably tell you that Atom is okay, and it's made by GitHub, and especially if you're focused on web development, it's probably fine. And then you asked about React. So React is a different thing. It's a framework, you know, so say you got an editor and you want to write a bunch of JavaScript and HTML, right? You can do that all day and you're fine. But the world has decided that it's annoying to just write JavaScript and HTML. And so there's lots of frameworks whose job is to, like, you know, at least on the surface, give you more power and flexibility in writing JavaScript and HTML, especially if you're building applications. So React is one of those. It's made by Facebook and Facebook is terrible, so I don't use it. Or Vue.js is an alternative to that is not made by Facebook. So those are like toolkits to help you with your development, but it's not the editor. So you could still use Atom or Visual Studio Code or Sublime Text or Coda or whatever. Do people still use Coda? I don't even know. No, it changed to Nova. Anyway, it costs money. Whatever, it's an editor. And then whatever tools you want to use, you don't have to use any. You don't have to use a framework. You can write just raw JavaScript and HTML, or you can use React or Vue or any of 85 other frameworks. I think React is probably among the most popular right now. I mean, then these are different. These are like UI frameworks that kind of determine how things are styled, and that's still even something different. So like Angular was made by Google. I don't know that they really support it anymore, actually. I feel like I thought there should be some list of this. Anyway, there's no perfect answer for this. I would say React is probably the one right now that's like, if you want a job today, React is probably the one that's most used commercially. Where is this? There's some, let's see, jQuery, React, Vue, I misspelled that. Is this my problem for using Bing yet again? Always the problem. Never use Bing. Why do I do this to myself? Because I hate Google. Top JavaScript frameworks and trends. Just want to see a list of what's going on. Okay, language rankings, framework, search volume. Yeah, a lot of React. I think Angular's kind of going away. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't actually know. I don't hear about it as much anymore. But you know, lots of people talk about React. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's better. It's just lots of people talk about it. So for front-end stuff, it probably would not be a bad idea to learn something like React. I prefer Vue, but if you just wanted to say, I'm going to use Atom and I'm going to use React and I'm going to start learning, it's probably fine because the tools kind of don't matter because they're going to change anyway, eventually. Like in 5 years, they might be totally different tools. The foundations that you learn will probably, at least some of those skills will carry on. So like, I don't know. If you were going to ask me personally right this second, I would say use Visual Studio Code instead of Atom, just because it feels like it will carry to other languages a little better. Unless you just decide you hate Microsoft, but Atom is from GitHub and GitHub is now owned by Microsoft. So it's Microsoft either way. And I would personally say to use Vue instead of React because Facebook is terrible and Facebook makes React and Vue is independent. But tomorrow, who knows? Vue could like, whatever. Google could buy Vue or like buy the guy who runs Vue, hire him or whatever. You never know. So maybe just take a little while looking. Like you'll see plenty of people say, what's it, Vue versus React 2021. And I'm sure you'll see 8,000 articles that tell you which you should learn. Probably it says conclusion. I bet it will say React. Which is better? I didn't know people still, I thought Angular was on the way out. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I think Vue's better. I think it's a bit more flexible, but hey. in the corporate world, it feels a little bit like React is a little more the preference, but that's changing, and that could be totally different next year, you know? Changes all the time. Okay, what are we doing? We're trying to make this thing work. So what is our problem? So we theoretically... Whoa, I've embedded my own stream. Whoa, I've embedded my own stream. Wow. Whoa, I've embedded my own stream. Wow. Whoa, I've embedded my own stream. Wow. Now we've got this nice echo going. Now we've got this nice echo going. Yeah. We've got this nice got some meception. Yeah. We've got this nice got some meception. So the issue now is that the player is hidden. Now is that the player is hidden. Now is that the player is this guy. Now is that the player this guy. Why can't we see you? Why can't we see you? Why can't we see you? Yes, there I am. Look, it's me. Look, it's me. Look, it's me. Okay, so unfortunately, this is stupid. This is stupid. It's not surprising that it's stupid, but it's stupid. It's not surprising that it's stupid, but it's stupid. It's not surprising that it's stupid, but it's stupid. It's not surprising. I kind of like this though. I kind of like this though. I kind of like this though. Okay. I kind of like this. So the issue is that. Okay, we don't want to autoplay, first of all. We don't want to autoplay, first of all. Don't do it. Do not autoplay, first of all. Don't do it. Do not autoplay, first of all. Don't do it. Maybe I should always stream like this. I think I'm about to have a stroke. Stream like this. I think I'm about to have a stroke. Stream like this. I think I'm about to have a stroke. I think I'm about to. Life is yours. What's going on? Oh no! Life is yours. What's going on? Oh no! Life is yours. Eternal alerts. Oh no! Life is yours. Eternal alerts. Oh no! Row your boat gently down the stream. Row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Merrily, merrily, row your boat. Row your boat. Hello, 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 harmony, 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 harmony. Harmony, 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 harmony. I know. It's a looper over here. Okay. I know. How about autoplay false? Okay. Thanks. How about autoplay? Great. So we could do something where we created the player the first time you call the player instead of automatically. So the thing that's broken here is this sucks actually. So Twitch creates the player inside the thing you give it. Whereas YouTube replaces the thing that you give it. Like, so YouTube, YouTube didn't work at all. So Twitch player ends up inside here. I don't know why our YouTube. Oh, because we said that it was called player, and it used to be called YouTube player. YouTube player. Yeah, so see, YouTube replaces the thing you give it, whereas Twitch embeds inside the thing you give it, and that's dumb. Because heaven forbid that things would be consistent. It should replace. It should replace now. Now, right now, YouTube and Twitch would stack on top of each other, so we will have to manually control that. The issue here is just the way we handle like our full screen and all of that stuff is broken, kind of, because the way we place things. How do we do that, actually? That's the player container, and its class is small. So really, this is the problem. We really just, so instead of this, we want to say Twitch player and YouTube player, and maybe that'll work. And then this needs to be display initial, and then we see it. So gosh, do we know how to talk to the YouTube player div and the Twitch one so we can show and hide them? Like, weirdly, that almost works. It's just that this iframe, so we need all of this actually, which is dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. So let's do that. And just for a moment, let's do a display initial here, just so we can see what's going on. And we should end up with, yeah, it's just, it can't fit. So we have to manually show and hide the YouTube player and Twitch player now, instead of just showing and hiding the container, which kind of sucks, honestly. So we don't want to show and hide this anymore. We need to show and hide the individual dudes. But maybe that's okay because we know those divs. We don't. Do we? We don't really. Okay, let's try this. Instead of you, now Twitch, misspelled that. Was that misspelled the whole time? Is that misspelled in here? No, then how did that work? Okay, so there we go. Those are full size. They'll respond to everything. So now we have to care about what's what, which is annoying. Not ideal. So we have to we kind of want to do this. Okay, just to be sure, just to be clear, this doesn't work, right? Iframe, yeah. Whatever. So iframes have to be full size. We'll just say those have to be full size. And we'll say by default, these are display none. So now our showing and hiding has to happen like per thing. But I think that actually won't be that bad because I think we set up, didn't we say show and hide in here? No. So we'd have to add that. So like, and also like all this stuff where we like stop, all this stuff that has YouTube video in it, we don't really need, but whatever. Show YouTube video. Hide YouTube video. And what do we actually give this? We give it the container div instead of the child div. So what does this guy want? The player div ID puts it inside. I prefer the Twitch way, actually, versus the YouTube way. So what we have to do here is we need to hide the div. Ugh, okay. So we want a player div, and then this needs to be this dot player div equals document dot get element by ID. YouTube player. And in this case, YouTube can take this. I think the first parameter here has to be the player div ID. I don't think you can give it an actual div. We can try, but I don't think that works. And then we need to say so this isn't too bad. I think it is just basically this. Like if we're going to show it, we're going to show it. And if we're going to hide it, that's a little annoying, actually. I kind of want to get rid of, Kyle, what do you think about this? Instead of having a separate radio command, just still have YT, but give it like hidden or visible. So it's all just one command. Instead of having two different ways to call YouTube videos, you would just say, like, you'd play it with a hidden. Problem is that it would keep that until the next time you did it, unless we always said, unless you show that it's hidden. I'll have to think about that a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so we could just do, because then you could do the same thing with Twitch. You could just say whether you want it hidden or not if you just want to listen to it. And then it could be like, in fact, it's probably just show or hide. And then you have the option to show or hide. Okay, so well, we always, when it stops, we want to hide it because we're gonna do that thing. Now, maybe we don't actually. Maybe stop really is just stop. And we do want to say, when the event happens, we want to say hide YouTube video initial. But I sort of want to not do this anymore, actually. Okay, I'm going to rethink it a little bit and we'll just see how it feels. Live pictures, I can no longer work ever again because now I keep wanting to use. I got used to typing in Vim all week last week, and now I'm trying to type in Glitch, and I'm doing everything wrong. It's going great. So if it's show and hide, we're just going to strip that from here and just not even have the idea anymore. We just play YouTube videos, just going to be play. It's totally independent of whether or not it's shown or hidden. We could choose to always enforce that, maybe, but for the moment, let's not do it. Yeah, our parameter order thing. Since it's cool that we have the oh gosh, it's a little tricky. It's cool that we have the parameters where they work in any order. I like that, but it makes it a little tricky for this thing where we want to say like default to show unless you explicitly say hide. We have to like separately search the arguments or something dumb. Okay, so for now, I'm throwing away the idea of radio. Radio's going away. And instead, we're going to have a just a show and show will always override hide. I did that fully backwards. I did that. I did that 100% backwards. Okay, so this might work if I did it right. Okay, so this is gonna be probably weird, because probably the first time I do it, you're not gonna see it. If it actually plays. Oh wow. Should I switch glitch to... Is that really a thing? That's funny. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not know if we're ready to commit to this. Okay, so now we can do a YT show. Great. Worked perfectly. Or it didn't work at all. What did we do wrong? YT show YouTube video. We're just saying, does it contain it? And then in the YouTube bridge, show YouTube video should be this uploaded style display initial or none. So either it didn't run or it didn't. Still is display none. I don't see anything toggling in there. So we're calling show for sure. That is this element. No, it's this element. This element has no style. Burn, has no style. This .player div .style .display. Oh, right. This is our whole stupid problem. Is that after we do this, I think we have to do this in here. I don't know. Because I think it messes with what the div is, you know? I think it changes. Go. Style of undefined. This.player div. Why is it undefined? Should exist. ID is YouTube player. Get element by ID. Oh, but I didn't set it here? Good grief. Okay. That's kind of annoying. I don't like the way they do this. So like it pulls it out from under your feet, basically. Okay, so that works if we say show. Like you have to explicitly say show. If we don't say show, it's not going to show. Which is kind of lame. Yeah, that it would always default to show. The problem is it needs to be off to start with. And so the problem is this, is like we support parsing those arguments in any order, which is handy. Because then you don't, you just type any argument you want and it's all good. The problem is like you don't want to just show it when you call anything, necessarily. You really only want to show it when you call show. Yeah, okay. How exactly do we want to do this? Like, in other words, if you had said it was hidden explicitly and then you chose to like mute it and then unmute it, you wouldn't want it to unshow, you know? Like, so you want that state to be maintained. The problem is, I guess if you play a thing, but you'd want to be able to play it and say hidden. So this is a little annoying. This might just need to be kind of a special case, like where we say if we're going to play, then we need to check again. We basically would have to check again and say, you know, if this isn't the best, but I think this is the most straightforward way to do this. We'd say, hey, if you said to play a thing, we're always going to assume you want to show it unless you explicitly say hide. And that's, I don't like stuff like this. That's this weird little special case. But this is a particular thing where it's like, it really matters. It matters when you're choosing to play. Yeah. I mean, and to be clear, like this, the desire for the functionality, I think you're right. Totally makes sense. Like if you by default, you want to show, it's just about the structure of the program, like how we want to structure this so that it makes sense, because, you know, generally you just want to parse these and it's all good anytime you call them. But this is our first case of saying like, there's a combination of arguments where you want to default to something that would not be like the natural state, because we've essentially built a state machine, right? Like you're just setting state, and then that state is remembered until you change the state. And each one of these pieces is an individual piece of state. Now, some of those pieces do alter other state, but not at the command level. They like change other aspects of the state. You know, the state of being center involves all these other things. And this is a case where the state of telling it to play, like you're setting a new video and it's time to play that new video. When setting that state, you want to implicitly change some other state unless you explicitly say that it's hidden. So it's a special case, but which I would normally want to avoid, but I don't see a great way around it unless it's one of the, you know, unless you just say like, now the software doesn't work very well because you enforce this arbitrary limitation on it. So what's nice about our current strategy is all of this stuff is like independent of this. All of this stuff is agnostic, right? Like all this sizing and positioning stuff doesn't care which thing you're playing, which is good. That's very good. In fact, you kind of want to just do that either way. Where there's like a shared parameters thing. That would be kind of cool. Because otherwise we're going to have to duplicate all this anyway. So let's set up our case. Twitch TV. Oh, we have to have a break in here. Okay, so hopefully YouTube is functioning as intended, except now you have to call show or hide if you want it to be radio. And you can call it, when you call the URL, you can just say hide and it will hide it. And then it will remain hidden until you either explicitly say show or you play a new video, which I think is the right way to do this. This is a little wonky because we identify YouTube URLs by HTTP, but Twitch URLs we identify by, will be hashtag, because you'll have to say play. But that's probably okay, because that is special enough. So basically, for Twitch, we'll say, I mean, the play commands are special enough that I think that makes sense. So we would just look for a hashtag and then hidden or not, and then this would all be PTV. And there's really no... Like, this is all redundant, really. Like, we're going to say play and hide. So that means in here, we need a play function. And a show. And a hide. And actually, those show and hide is going to be identical. Probably. Probably. We don't know the player div here, which is annoying. Actually, we do, because in this case, it really is just the thing we want it to be. Like, it's nothing fancy. It's really just Twitch player. So that is a little easier on this side because it doesn't do the dumb replace thing. And when we want to play, then we have to say player dot set channel. I don't know if you can include the hashtag or not. Sets the channel to be play. So we want to set the channel and then we want to call play. Which, it's a little weird. Because, like, is there not some kind of... do we want to set autoplay equals true? At that point? And then whenever we stop it... I don't know. So that would look something like TTV Scott made this. Nope. It would look like TTV hashtag Scott made this. Player is not defined. Of course it's not. Of course it isn't. Forgot that this, that. What? Oh. Like, maybe that worked, but didn't actually play. That changes. So this is funny. Do we need to like set autoplay first? And we do need to set it initial. So I don't understand that actually. Seems like it should be what? Wait, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. That was weird. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work, actually. Like, as far as autoplay seems like it seems to just be swapping out this URL on the fly. So I think if I do this, it will just recreate that URL. But that's an assumption. Yeah. So but it didn't autoplay. I thought I just said autoplay was... It's kind of dark in here. Okay. What did I say? I said set autoplay equals to true. Maybe that's only... No. Oh, that's the query. So, okay, not ideal. That seems to not be a thing. Those are just parameters. So I don't think you swap that out. I don't think you can change whether or not autoplay is true or not, which seems dumb. And does that mean I have to say, like, watch for it to be ready and then hit play? Twitch player is ready. I wonder if this gets called every time. Because on the YouTube side, we kind of had to do that, right? We had to say on player ready. So we need to do this. You got an example of that? Of course not. Of course you don't. So what it looks like needs to happen is we need to say, well, okay, but that sucks actually, because we don't always want to do that. But let's try this. Let's try this dot player dot add. Sorry. iframe unload. Well, I think we can use this event because just because the iframe loaded doesn't necessarily mean the player's ready. I think. But we'll see. We'll see if this gets called every time the way it does on the YouTube player. The problem is it's going to work the first time, and we don't want it to. I wonder if we could... Oh, yeah, it sucks. Like, you can't really... We just have to sort of ignore the first version, or we don't even create the thing until the first time somebody calls it. Is another option that may actually be the better option, is we don't even create it until the first call. Okay, so we get a ready here. Do we get a ready every time? No? Do we get... Is there any event we get every time? Or is it just because I didn't actually change the channel? What's another channel? Linux. That work? That's still me. Oh, it's an underscore? Thanks. Is she streaming right now? That still looks like me. Yep. There she is. Yep. There she is. Yep. There she is. Yep. Oh, recursive me again. 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 Why are you such a bad mod? Recursive me again. Why are you such a bad mod? Recursive me again. Why are you such a bad mod? Recursive me again. Why are you such a bad mod? Recursive me again. Why are you such a bad mod? Recursive me again. Why are you such a bad mod? Recursive me again. Why are you such a bad mod? Recursive me again. Why are you such a bad mod?
What?
Recursive me again. Why are you such a bad mod?
What?
Stream again. Why are you such a bad mod?
What?
Stream again. Why are you such a bad mod?
What?
Stream again. Why are you such a bad mod?
What?
Stream again. Why are you such a bad mod?
What?
Stream again. Why are you such a bad mod?
What?
Stream again. Why are you such a bad mod?
What?
Stream again. Why are you such a bad mod?
What?
Stream again. Why are you such a bad mod?
What?
Okay. Cool. So I think it's broken because I think actually, if I had to guess, it's that hashtag parameter. Like, if we do this, does it just not work? And we never get that ready call. That's funny. So you can just put in a bad, but just put in nothing for the channel. The channel video collection ID must be provided. Yeah, it's just broken. So What if I just put in a pound sign? It was just nothing, nothing. And then what if we just leave autoplay on? Then maybe we're all good. Seems kind of broken. Okay, so I think that's the issue, is we actually need to start like one character later. That's my guess. How do you do that? Like this? Oh, but okay, well we have a problem, because I don't think we can do, like, if you try to do a mature stream, you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to deal with the mature audience thing.
Now the UI load is.
I don't think we can do anything about that. Unless there's just like an allow mature or something. So Kyle, you might only be able to stream family friendly. Let's see if there's anything in here. I think you should only push G-rated streams. Rated E for everyone. Because I kind of doubt there's a way they would let me just push that button. Maybe there's a way, but kind of doubt it. JavaScript doesn't like you to push buttons unless the user initiates something. Kind of lame though, huh? That's a little sad, huh? I'm not seeing anything totally obvious in here. There's a way around that. Okay, so what are we doing? So that kind of works. Kind of. All the sizing and stuff. So we sort of want to say, in all cases, this is going to be a little weird actually. How can we do this? Like the default case, we sort of want to... Not really a way to do this with a switch statement, is there? Like you can have a default where it would fall back otherwise, but not really. Like if you just want it to be any command, you kind of have to do this. Which in this case, all our player size stuff is oh, what? Life is yours. What are you calling? I mean, I know I could not have a break and fall through to the bottom. But I would... It's almost like the opposite. I want the opposite of what a switch statement would normally do. Like you can have one set fall through without a break, but that would still only fall through to like... Unless, can you have a default case be the first? No, because it's not... I want the case to happen no matter what. Like exclusive of these. And a case statement can't do that. It can do stuff if they aren't these. No, I want it to say like, if it's Twitch TV or YouTube, do this thing, which you can't do in a switch statement. Like if I didn't have this break here, it would fall through and run all the YouTube stuff, which I don't want to do. Right? So it doesn't quite do the exclusive thing I want. So then that leaves really this. I want them both to do the same thing and also the custom thing. Yes. And no, there's no fall through. So really there's not really a reason for a switch because there's no case, you know, there's no default and there's no case where I want to use break and fall through. So case statement is not, could easily be just a if else instead. So this should mean now this applies to any of our commands, which is good. And can cases have cases? I mean, you could have another switch statement inside, but it wouldn't. That's not. I mean, I could inside this have a case. It's not. Actually, I don't think you can have a bool in a case and then have it fall through. I don't think you can. Maybe you can in JavaScript. You know, like a statement as a case. Maybe you can in JavaScript. I'm not entirely sure. But you'd still want it to fall through. I mean, I don't really want to, because normally you think of cases as exclusive unless you have the break. And then so how would it... I don't think a case statement can ever run more than one case unless you don't have breaks. A switch statement, I mean. But this does the job. I mean, I could imagine a cleanup for this, but in fact, I'm tempted to just not even use, you know, like this doesn't really get us anything except add some... We're not using any features of a switch statement here that we wouldn't just get for an if. So we really could just say, you know, if command is either of these, you always do that. If command is only Twitch TV, then you do this. And then you don't need the break. And you could then have an else if or an if, either way. Go to YouTube. And then you don't need the break. Kind of fine either way. Because I could imagine, like, if you had, you know, with two modules, who cares? If you had a bunch of modules, there's smarter ways you could do it, where you could say like, hey, this applies to all modules, and then you could do individual checks to see like there's something cool going on. Do you have a special module case? So the thing we probably want to do though, so this should let us do all this stuff for Twitch now. Like TTV big. Oh, I need to refresh, huh? So TTV got made this. Got made this. Uh-oh. Got made this. TTV big. Got made this. TTV big. Got made this. TTV big. Small top big. Small top big. Small top big. Okay, so you get those for free. The thing you don't get for free necessarily. Is that what I need? Should it also fire the alert sound when it shows that alert? So now we want to migrate this stuff out. And there's no such thing as interfaces, I don't think, in JavaScript, CS6. The same dimensions. It is the exact same. So everything we had previously for small, medium, big on YouTube, it uses the exact same code. So there's no difference. The thing that is different right now is the Twitch player does not support these commands: clear, hide, show, mute, and unmute, and there's no reason that it shouldn't. So either we just don't care and we just like, we don't care about enforcing it, because you can't, let's see. There's no way to like enforce an interface. What are you even doing? Unless, now we could do it with inheritance and just extend, but does that, there's no like virtual functions, so you can't force it. You can't require an override anyway, so like, which is kind of lame. You'd also need to track what your current player is. Yeah, we'll add it. We just haven't added it yet. I just am trying to think of what the best way to add it. So like in a real programming language, you would have like a base class that all of these modules used, and they would know how to do this stuff, or you'd override them to make them do this stuff. Like in this case, you don't actually have to know. You just have to know which player you're using, but the show and hide is independent of the underlying YouTube code. Clear and mute and unmute, you do need to know the underlying player, but you could still have those high level things. So either the lazy thing would just be duplicate this stuff up here. This is stuff I would, in a real programming language, I would probably use an interface for this, and then just track whatever the player is. You know, you would just say like, when you play a video, you just have an idea of what the active player is. Now that I think about that, we need to always say, how do we want to do this? This is a little silly. Well, here's the thing that's silly is like right now in our generic area, that means you could, whatever, you could be playing a Twitch video and then you could still say YT big and it would still do it. You could say either one of these and it would be fine. It would just apply to whatever video was playing. Which is whatever. Not that big of a deal. It just would work both ways, which is a little bit silly. Same thing with, but that would not be true for like play, pause, clear, those things it does care. It cares if you are so something we could do in here is like based on whichever this was, you'd set the player. Like you would say player equals, and then whichever one it was, you would say it's equal to the YouTube player or not. And then down here, you would just call player whatever. Stop, hide, show. Let's tidy this up. Let's get it working, and then we'll see if we want to bother tidying it up. And in fact, all this stuff is dumb. Let's get rid of all this stuff. So like all this redundancy, YouTube video, we don't need any of that. So inside here, all these methods that have this extra verbosity can go. Mute, YouTube player can also go. YouTube player. So that almost works. So we just need to implement stop, hide, show, mute, unmute. I think we already did hide, show. So we just need stop and then mute and unmute. And I'm just assuming there's... I know there's volume control. I don't know if there's mute and unmute, though. Interactive. Set muted. Fouls. Okay, and then the only thing that's goofy is I'm pretty sure in here we do more than just stop. No, we don't. Okay, so pause, pause, pause video, pause, pause. And I just don't like this because, you know, that code is basically duplicated. It's just... And it's a little annoying because, again, these are agnostic. You can use any of these functions accidentally across. You know, if a Twitch video is playing, you could still call YouTube big. We could, like, whatever. We could kind of say don't do that, but... yeah. They could just be ignored. I mean, so okay, one thing we do have to do. So let's just see if the Twitch player works now, first of all. So TTV Lana Lux. That was wrong. That's not how you type that. It is TTV Lana Lux. Uh-oh. Did I like break? Is embedding broken? Again. Am I in trouble? Wait. Oh. I don't even have ad block installed. I just have tracking turned off. Okay, there's me. Okay, there's me. So we can there's me. So we can there's me. So we can TPV big, TPV small, bottom left, unmute, small. Did I not call it unmute? What do I call it? What's wrong? TTV unmute. TTV unmute is not a function. Oh yeah? Probably because I spelled it wrong. I don't know. Is that proper camel casing? Who can say? TTV got made this. Small, top, right, muted. No, just mute. And then TTV, big, unmute. Big, unmute. Big, unmute. TTV, big, medium, unmute. Okay. That's funny. So it just looks like they're trying to do, yes, all kinds of like tracking. They're just trying to track me all over the place, and we're getting errors because that's a lot of tracking, Twitch. Guess we shouldn't be surprised. TTV audio level 11. So seems okay, I guess. So here's the problem, is right now if we busted out Buck Bunny would play at the same time. Because we are not enforcing... and TTV hide... TTV hide... and YouTube show... Okay, I need a quick bathroom break, and then we'll think about how to solve this other problem. Shouldn't be too bad, and then maybe we can clean up some other issues too. BRB. What song starts with "Hello me, it's me again"? Some kind of like alternative. Let's say "Hello me, it's me again." Ah, it's a Megadeth song. I don't think it's a good song. Is that right? No, "Hello me, meet the root." That's not right. It's not Megadeth. What song is it? Everything is in. The problem is, they run on top of each other. No, it is Megadeth. Sweating Bullets. Hello me, it's me again. Is that a good song? I don't really remember. No, wait. Hello me. That's not right. That says hello me. Meet the real me. In my misfits way of life. No, what song is hello me, it's me again? No, it is. Okay, it's in verse 2. Got it. Great. Anyways. Okay, what's your new feature? What's your incredible feature? This is gonna be it. This is the moneymaker. Mm-hmm. Does it actually hide it when you pause it, or does it literally just pause? Okay, so it hides. It hides the visual and pauses. And then you can hit play. That's actually, we actually already are doing that. You just want to resume. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll think about that next. Okay, yeah. Because that's really all we're doing, is we really just pause and hide when you call clear. We don't actually stop. So you could just resume. Even now, we could just add resume and it would work. Instead of adding new commands. I don't know. We can look at it and decide. So the big thing that's broken right now, though, is that the players like basically when we play the short and simple version of this, which I'm already really not liking all this duplication, but the short and simple version is probably if you ask to play a YouTube video, we probably clear the Twitch video and vice versa. That's the really easy thing, is we say, you know, one supersedes the other. And then if we didn't want the commands to cross-pollinate, we could set some kind of flag to know which player we're currently using. And it's funny because these really are, I mean, even if these pretended to be exclusive, they're not. Like, we don't track these separately. We could have a whole separate system, but I don't think we want to. I think I'm just gonna, it's a little silly, but I think we just, I don't know. You can give it a shot, and if it seems super weird and annoying that, like, these commands apply to both, we can come up with a way around it, but it seems like not that big of a deal, really. It just means all these positioning commands really don't care whether it's either way. Either way it works, you know? Yeah, it shouldn't break. It's just might be like a little counterintuitive if you're watching a Twitch video and then you say YT big. Yeah, that could all get fancier later. I mean, just like this. This is not, I wouldn't want to ship this. Like if this was a real thing that someone was giving me money for, I wouldn't ship this duplication. It's just a little not tidy. So do you want to... Should we keep clear, or should we just call clear pause now and have like pause and resume? Because resume will just be resume, and it will just, whatever you're doing, it will resume it, like whatever video was there. Do you want to keep clear, or do you think that should change its name to pause, since it's kind of the counter command? I could argue it either way, I guess. Do we not have a clue? Where's our... Oh, clear just calls stop. Where you wouldn't want pause. If pause always hid. So what you could actually do, though, is like, you know, you could... Maybe there's some scenario where you want to be able to see the pause. So you would just call pause and it would literally be hidden on the screen. Or if you wanted it to pause and hide, you would call pause and hide, you know? But then you'd have to call resume and show. That would be the most flexible. That doesn't mean it's the best. It would just be like, that's the most flexible option. So those both call stop. And that's the only place. That actually does call it when the video ends. Okay, that's something we don't have on the Twitch side. Oh, but the Twitch video, like... I don't know. The auto end on Twitch video doesn't make as much sense since it's a stream. You know? Well, that's what I'm saying, is that you're probably right that saying pause to make it go away doesn't make sense. But I'm potentially proposing the most powerful thing, but is more verbose, so, you know, it may not be good, is pause literally just pauses the video, you know? Just like pause, like you would expect pause to pause a video. And if you wanted to pause it and hide it, it would be a different command. Either pause and hide, or we would keep clear as a thing that just kind of automatically does both. I don't know if I explained that very well. You don't think so? You don't think you just want to see a pause? Okay. So we'll just keep clear then. But if you wanted, you could resume. So, but does that seem weird? Like clear and resume is a little weird, right? Also, like if it was already hidden like a radio thing and you hit resume, would you want it to auto resume if it was already hidden? UX is tricky. I don't know if this was pause or unpause. Okay, so here's the thing. It's just trying to figure, you know, this is a UX, it's a user experience thing, because the functionality is already there. Like these players both know how to play and pause and all that stuff. So it's just like, for your user experience, is pause, one, do you keep clear just as is? So that's one question. Should clear just stay just like it is, which basically pauses and hides? So clear is really just a pause and hide, basically. Okay, so clear is both a pause and a hide. And when a video ends, it should always clear, right? On YouTube side. On the Twitch side, I don't think that makes as much sense. So clear in both cases means pause and hide, right? Okay. Can you ever resume a cleared video? Or we're just saying like, if you cleared it, it's gone? Or... Oh no. Wait, you want nested commands? So essentially if you clear it, it's gone. But then what is the difference between clearing and pausing? Like visually, what is the difference between clearing and pausing? Is there none? Because you're saying you want pause to both pause the video and make it go away, right? Because you're not saying you ever want to see a video paused on screen. Okay. So clear and pause are essentially just, yeah, great, perfect. No, no. You can't have commands. And then, yeah, it does. I mean, it does just because it's easy, because the player is always there. It's just kind of hidden. So clear and pause could essentially be aliases. And then what do you want to be the command to bring it back? Like resume? Because play technically under the hood is implied by the URL. Like, I know this is whatever, but like play, when you provide a URL or like a hashtag channel name, that is a play. So you're saying that play is essentially like whatever was there before, just play it. Trying to think if that causes issues though, because if you tried to use play and you mean it's more intuitive compared to pause, like as a pairing for pause. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some pause, it's a little different, sometimes pause and resume are separate things. Sometimes, play and resume. Sometimes play means start from the beginning. Sometimes you have to call stop and then play to start from the beginning. And that's a question, actually. Do you think you ever want to, I guess you would just call the video again if you wanted to start from the beginning. So the only issue with what you're proposing, which is maybe not that big of a deal, is that play. So you're saying if I call play, it should show the video. What if the video, here's the problem though, like what if your video was hidden and then you call play? To play something that was hidden and you paused it while it was hidden and then you hit play, then you call play. You know what I mean? Like does the state of the hidden or not hidden, is that maintained? Okay, but see the problem? Like if you want to do the radio function, right? And you said YT with a URL hide. So you're playing just audio, right? You've decided you just want to play audio. With the current setup, if you hide is already true. And we're not maintaining that state separately, although we could, it'd be a little more complicated. And then you hit pause, and then you hit play. If we implicitly said that play always meant show, you would be showing something that was hidden before it was paused. Like even if, you see what I mean? Like the pause play thing definitely introduces some UX weird, a little UX weirdness. Even in terms of like, what if you called play at the same time that you provided a URL? If play is like, again, if it's like implicitly that play, yeah, it's a little tricky. So you think it would need to maintain the state? I would agree with that. That's a little more annoying for sure. In fact, how could we do this? Because the thing I'm worried about too is how it's going to conflict with because there's an implicit play anytime you put a URL, right? Like if you put a URL, that's a play. So we'd kind of want to say like if it's a URL or it's the play function. So that would look a little bit like, Yeah. I mean, see how this starts to get really complicated in terms of like maintaining state. Like and it's not a code problem. The code already does all the work. It's all user experience. That's why UX is such a pain. You suddenly have all these combinations of things. So, but I think what we want to say is that, so if we have a URL or this no longer means anything. Yeah, this is a bit annoying, really. Because then we need like separate state for the show hide, because we have essentially then you have like 2 levels of hide. One is the, I guess when you pause, you would like store the last state, and when you hit play, you resume the last state, but only if it was a play without a URL. Yeah, it's a bit annoying. Okay, so here's what I'm going to propose. I'm going to say that we look for a URL. So either, yeah, this kind of sucks. Let's think about how we want to do this. So let's break this up a little bit. So we kind of want to say, let URL equal, no, just URL equals argument, right? So this whole dumb thing is all about, is going to be all about when it is appropriate to pause or not. So this is going to say, first we're going to look for a URL, and then we're going to say if there's a URL or we have a play argument. And then inside that, we have to check and see if we have show or hide additionally, because we decided that was like, oh boy, okay. What's broken here? So this is like, you know, for URLs. And this is, or if there's an explicit play. Why is this not indenting? Okay, there it goes. So we look for an explicit hide or default to show. Yeah, that just means we need to maintain that state. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just like more features, and more features require more testing, and there's more likelihood of things breaking. You know, it's just, it's how this stuff works. So basically, we're going to say either you said play, which means play the last thing. And if URL is null here, so this is going to be a little weird. Potentially, we're calling play, but with like no parameter. So yeah, that was a bit weird. So you could call both and it would still work. Calling like a play with a clear, I don't even know what that would do. That would be weird. Because we're explicitly showing it here. So yeah, that's a bit weird. Okay, so just to be clear, clear and pause are functionally the same. You just like the it makes a little more sense. And in both cases, those will pause and hide. And that will be the same for Twitch. Pause and hide. Okay. And then this whole mess, we need to do kind of this whole same nonsense for Twitch. Good boy. Okay. So that's this whole mess? This whole mess. So this whole mess so whatever, we're just gonna look for this. And it's really going to be substring 1 because we're going to skip over the hashtag. And then we're going to say if channel or play. And then if it has arguments, and in this case, it's TTV, but we need a YT, hide and pause. And down here, we need to TTV, hide, and pause. Okay, so well, it's this, I mean, clear under the hood is just pause. Like, clear and pause are functionally the same here because of the way the players work. Like, all clear, we don't actually throw anything away on clear because then we'd have to totally recreate the player and all that stuff that we do on startup. So it's a little more efficient if you just keep it around, and then when a new one comes, you just swap in the new one. Oh, I see. I wonder, actually, if when you hit play, if it'll go live. I don't actually know what it does internally. That's an interesting question. We'd have to see. I don't know. I mean, I assume it just goes to live, right? Like if you hit pause. I don't know Twitch's. We'll try it. I don't actually know. Like, we can probably make it work either way. I just don't actually know. Okay. So then the thing is, we no longer have the concept of any of this. We just have to say, if a channel is provided, do this, then play the channel. Else this dot player, otherwise play. So it's just like, we do need a pause. I lied. And we're probably getting this wrong a little bit. Or yeah, this is getting complicated enough that like we have like 10, you know, anytime we test it, we suddenly have like 20 things to test because now we have 2 players to test and every command to test. Like every feature you add, you have to test every combination of features. So this is like reaching a level of complexity where I probably don't want to mess with it very much anymore. I feel like we forgot one thing. What one thing did we forget on the Twitch side? Maybe we didn't. Anyway, so if there's a play, if we know a channel, we will play it. Otherwise, we will just play whatever the last thing was. Oh, the state. Okay, ignoring the state for now, because that's a little annoying. So we want a play in a pause instead. And I'm going to say if there's a URL, then use the URL. If there's not a URL, this dot player. I don't know what it is. YouTube iframe API. Pause video, play video. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so this is almost logically here. It's just we're not doing that. We don't have the state like where it you know, where when you pause it records what the state was when you paused. Okay. State of the show or hide, if I didn't make that clear. Okay, so all these guys can play, pause, show, hide, mute, unmute. That appears to make sense. And this guy can play, pause, show, hide, mute, unmute. Okay, that's seems right. Yes, but that's meta. Like the small big is all, yeah. I just meant like the per players because those commands, top, center, left, right, big, small, all of these, that is actually a level above the player. Like that works in either case. I just mean the per player commands where it has to be custom because each of these APIs have their own custom calls. The big, small, left, right, top, bottom, we built all of that. So there's no difference between the two. Okay, so we were saying pause and clear is the same. We don't care about resume is not a thing. Hide, show, mute, unmute. And then play is always a thing unless it isn't. Like play can also just be yeah, this is a little bit annoying because like the custom like the state thing this is a little annoying. Like that state thing is a little annoying. I mean, there's just a lot of little gotchas in it. There's like lots of little cases that are maybe a little more complicated, you know, just with just different combinations of things. So how do we want to handle that? Because I like this approach where play and a URL are basically the same thing, but if there isn't a URL, it just uses the last URL. That's really clean. It's just, we've already said here that, because that's kind of saying if you're calling play, it's actually more of a resume and you want to keep the last state. Yeah, I mean, one way to do it would be to like force you to be explicit. The problem is that would be the normal case. Like it would be true in that way that it would always maintain. It's just that we have this special code that says plays always default to show. But a play without a URL is really an implicit resume. Okay, let's just see if stuff works right now because it's very possible that we just have some bugs. So let's get our buddy Buck Bunny and let's just try all the things. So that is an implicit play. So it's already broken. Perfect. Why is it already broken? We said that should have defaulted to show. Oh no, I have a silly typo. Okay, never mind. That's just a silly typo. Yeah, it's totally clean state. It was just a bug, silly bug. Okay, we got Buck. Mute Buck. YT bottom left medium. YT top left small. Okay, those all seem like they're okay. now we say we want to do a YT clear. And then if I do a YT play, it should resume right there. And it did. Same thing for a YT pause. Oops. A YT play should just resume right where it was. Okay. And it is maintaining whether it's muted or not. So that's all good. The thing that is not good is if we said YT hide. So if we said YT unmute, so it's playing, and then YT hide so that it's hidden but we can hear it, right? And then said YT pause, and then said YT play, it's going to show it even though it was hidden. So that's our one like kind of known bug right now. But you saw like it's under a very specific case. If you like play and it's hidden and it's unmuted, so it's like the radio mode, and then you pause radio mode and then resume radio mode, it will not respect that. So maybe the easiest way around that actually, maybe this is a really easy fix, and we just say if you specified a URL, then we want a default. So that makes this case even more ridiculous. But if we do this, then anytime you're doing a resume, then you'll just resume with whatever the previous state was, which is what we actually want. So we'll just, instead of adding multiple special cases, we'll just make our one special case more special. Which is to say that if you play and there's a URL and you did not say hide, it will always be show. But now, if we do our buddy buck, and we say YT hide, and then YT pause, and then YT play. No, why did it show? Wait, that's not right. Okay, wait, something's wrong. Did I not refresh? Show should only ever be called if it was, okay, did I do that wrong? So if we have a URL, that almost seems like this got called. Maybe that URL check is not actually correct. Let's check. Okay, YT. Hide. Oops. Pause. Play. Okay, I think I just did a refresh. The YT show. YT pause, YT play. Shoot, that doesn't come back. Okay, right, that wouldn't come back. Oh man, that's pretty annoying. So we have to store the state. Yeah, it's close, but that means that this approach is not going to work. It means that we have to store the state, like whatever its previous state is, unless there's a URL, and then it is always true, unless you also specified hide when you called it. Because if you said play, but also called hide, that's another thing we didn't even test, but like if you explicitly said play and show, the thing we just did, like this would work. Oops, I need to do URL. So if we did this, and it was hidden, and then when we did pause, no, actually show it, and pause it, and YT play, and show, it'll work. But if we just call playback, so what are the circumstances under which something could get paused? Because what we would have to do is we'd have to store the state there, but we'd have to like reset the state. Yeah, you can always be explicit. You can always call show and hide. It's just, if you want some defaults, it's like figuring out what these defaults are is what's a little wonky. Like you kind of want to say what was the previous state. Do we need to do that per player or do we actually care? So if we had a thing that was like YT like whenever you called this, you'd want to store the last state, I guess, which we don't really have a concept of. We'd have to add that, and then we have a fair amount of testing to do to like. So one answer is we store that out here, like outside of the modules, and it's just a global level thing. And when you show a thing and hide it, but I don't think that works because then it could get wonky if you're like switching back and forth between Twitch and YouTube. So I think you have to maintain it per. You'd also want to call, you need to explicitly set that state anytime you do this also. Kind of annoying. It would be something like, you know, like they would both default to visible. And then you couldn't just always change that on hide because we do have this idea of hidden, but like wanting to be visible again. What's the right way to do this? That's a pretty weird one. So one idea is to actually keep those as two totally separate states. And one is about like, and we still have the problem of wanting to force being shown sometimes though. It's tricky one. Because that's the player div. Like we could show or hide the container, but you still have to show that when you want to play on the forced show. Yeah. I don't really like audio though, because if like YouTube and Twitch are tied specifically to platforms and you sort of want it to be tied to platforms, where audio is like ambiguous. I think I prefer that. Like to me, it makes more sense to have these platform specific commands and then you have all the flexibility of show and hide, but I think it's good. I think functionality wise, we're good. It's just this, it's this one specific case, which now we fixed that case, but we broke another case, right? Like we fixed this. Now the thing that's broken is it won't come back if it was previously supposed to. So we could set a like, yeah, you just have to maintain that state somewhere. Yeah, you'd have to pick which was worse. Like is it worse? To me, the way it is right now seems worse, where if you resume a thing that was visible, it's not visible, which is annoying because then you have to make it visible, versus if you resume a thing that was previously not visible, it becomes visible, which, you know. So let me think about this 1 second. Maybe there's a way to add this in a way that is not going to like, because right now, unfortunately, we're in like this scenario where it's like, okay, if we fix this one part, it changes other functionality. And that's a bad place to be because then you're kind of never done. It's like, oh, if I move this, it moves this. And so what I'm trying to find is like a way to do this one thing without having like this knock-on effect to other stuff, which we kind of have. Like we're kind of in good shape. It's just if we resume something that was previously visible. And so we kind of want to say like, you know, previous state, I guess. Or like is visible. So you always know what it is and you always know what it was. Something like that. Which this looks like it's going to be a little annoying to maintain. But that means anytime you change this, it's like is visible previous equals is visible, and then is visible equals, you know, whatever, depending on where you are. Because basically we want to say only show and hide is ever going to show and hide. So these are the only two places that show and hide would happen. Okay, so now we not only know what our current state is, but we know what our previous state is. That's basically what I'm doing. Yeah, that's pretty close. So it's just, you've got the right idea. It means I need to know both states, but I also have to like maintain the current state somewhere, which I don't really. So like currently we just directly look, you know, like directly set the styles. We don't maintain visible or previous visible or whatever. But yeah, that's the right idea, is that we need to maintain the state and then we always maintain like whatever the last state was. And then we know that we're in here, like this is a resume, right? And then we need to say if is visible previous, you know, this dot show, else this dot hide. Only here, because this is like the one scenario where we are resuming. Right? And then Buddy up here needs to do it also. So something along those lines, and hopefully that doesn't break every single other thing, but I don't think it will because it's really scoped only to this, like, you know, like case of a case of a case kind of. Because this only happens under pretty specific circumstances. Now, the one problem here other than I just don't know how to program, is this like kind of ignores, because what if you did this and you said show? It would be wrong. It would use the last state. So really, we shouldn't do this here. Ugh. Like, and maybe that's not the, whatever, maybe that's the end of the world, but it would be a bug. Like, you would, if you explicitly said show when you hit play, it would be wrong because it's going to go to the default state, so no matter what. So and you already could cause terrible things by saying show and hide, but we're going to ignore that for a second because that's a mess. So we kind of want to say, if there's a URL, always show, unless you explicitly say hide. That's like one of our rules. Our other rule is this is a resume. Yeah, but what if you resume and you say show when you resume? You're saying you just would never want to do that? That's maybe fair. Like resume just ignores the show hide parameters, even if you put them. Yeah. What if it's a fun surprise and now you want to see it? It's just, you're right. I mean, you know, the thing that this probably would actually be in software would be like, this is a known issue, meaning like, hey, it's a known issue, but like there's a workaround. But I'm trying to think if we could just not cause that problem anymore. You know, like if instead of doing this in here, yeah, you could call both. It's true. I mean, honestly, because there is some stuff that's like, hey, yes, this is an issue, but there's like a one-line workaround that will fix the issue. And you see that all the time. Like if you go look at the Unity release notes right now, I'm sure there's like 90 known issues. And some of them are probably serious. Okay, let's just try it this way, which would mean all of our nightmare special cases of play and pause are all in here. And we would just say, like, if you don't say show or hide, then so resumes will default to the last state. So what we have to say here, I'm so confused. Wait. So if there was a URL, then you do that thing. If there was not a URL, wrong button, then you need to say, if you don't have the arguments, so that you don't have this, and you don't have this, and this is show, then you default here. What a beautiful statement. What a mess. Okay, but I think this is the idea. Is like if you don't have a URL, then we know it's a resume, which in this case would be here. Is visible previous and show hide. Otherwise, you can be explicit about it. Okay. Theoretically, this covers all things. I'm sure there's a dumb bug. I mean, you might. It saves. If you're a scammer, you probably want that feature. Seems pretty good. Okay. Everything is perfect now and there's no bugs. It's already broken. So we're doing very well. Is visible is not defined. Did I not do that correctly? YouTube Bridge 63. Oh, it's this dot. I forgot the this dot. How could I? Also forgot it here, I bet. Oh, that reminds me. Wait. Okay, wait. I need to pause for a second. I wrote a letter to Jan Schiffman. I don't think he responded to me. It was important. Did I just show my email on screen? Okay, I don't think I did. You can't see my email, can you? Oh, okay. There's a thing. That's unusual for Schiffman to not. Okay, extended to April 9th. What is today? The 5th. Should we apply for this thing? Should we apply for this? I think we should. I wrote Dan saying, should I apply to this thing with this certain idea? So basically, there's an idea I applied years ago. I applied to this with a certain idea that was actually in some ways not unlike Heat, but also different than Heat. Anyway, and after I applied to it and I didn't get it, but Dan sent me an email and he was like, hey, this was a cool idea. We like it. You should apply with it in the future. It just wasn't right for that year. And I feel like that thing could be good this year because one of the things is about like accessibility. And I think you'd make the case that's like, you know, democratize access to things, and especially with like onlineness because of COVID. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do a stream this week, or maybe we put together a project proposal. Very exciting. The stipend is $3,000, which is not nearly enough money for that much work, but you know, you wouldn't just do it for the money in this case. It would give me $3,000 to work on a thing that I've kind of been working on anyway. For nothing. So yes, and I still have no job. I have like no jobs this month, which is a little scary. I mean, museum stuff I've got to pick up on, but probably not for a month or two. So I can just work on this YouTube thing all month. No. Okay. It might work now. It might not work now, but it might work now. We got a syntax error, Twitch bridge, line 6. What did I do? Is this not the right syntax for this? Can you not do this? Can you not sit root? Oh wait, yeah, there's no this dots here. Now I have too many this dots. I've errored on the side of too many this dots. Well, so the idea is that a long time ago I did this project. It wasn't that long ago, like 5 years ago. And I thought it was pretty cool, but nobody cared about it. But it was just like, and actually now I have a better idea. I have better ideas on how to do this. And you've seen me do streams where I'm like doing streams for classes and workshops and stuff, but where the whole idea was to be able to really easily like have a server, an agnostic server that just knew how to route data. And so that you could really easily do creative code projects without having to set up a server. So especially for somebody who's trying to learn P5 or something like that, and they want to do a connected thing, it's pretty easy to do that on Glitch, but it's still a bit annoying. And so the idea is like this magical architecture, this magical WebSocket-based architecture, where it on the back end like maintains the routing and figure out who gets what, whatever. And all you have to do is just, it gives you a URL with a namespace. You use that URL for your project and you're good. It would have to be really limited, you know, so that tons of people could use it.
But I think it'd be cool, and I think it would actually help people doing stuff in P5. And then you could use it to do like teaching experiences where like the teacher could type in an editor and it would broadcast to all their students to get added to the P5 editor and whatever, like all the kinds of stuff we do on stream. But it would just be, it'd be really easy to just get data. So kind of, I mean, it's not too far away from like Bot made this and he and all of those things, but every one of those has been its own separate project. And this would aim to be like, this is a server that just knows how to route stuff on the internet. And there's stuff like that, sort of. Like, I mean, for your own, you can make your own network of like Mosquito and have all your stuff talk to each other. This is made to be a little more broad and open. I mean, it could be Mosquito based, I guess, as far as the. I don't think you use Mosquito in browsers though, right? Like, you're still gonna be able to talk to it, and you're not gonna do that from a web browser, right? I'm sure you can do it from Node. mqqt.js. Like, that's not gonna work in a browser, right? No, it is. Okay. I have not done very much with mqqt. In fact, almost nothing. I've never like finished a project with it. I've just played with it. Like, it's pretty dang similar to WebSockets in a lot of ways. So that's like an echo server, but you'd still have the same problems, right? Of like the namespacing thing, if you just want anybody to be able to talk. I don't really know. I didn't know browsers supported that. I guess it doesn't matter if it's just. I see. So it's potentially in a browser like MQQT is maybe happening on top of WebSockets anyway. I don't know. Maybe we don't. Maybe you could just do it. Still, it'd be nice to have one centralized place that just did the thing for you, right? Multiple interested parties can subscribe to messages that may interest them. So, like, that'd be kind of cool, but you'd still want the namespacing. So it's sort of just like MQQT just gives you some features on top. But it still doesn't do the super easy thing. And is a little more esoteric, so... Maybe we should do some stuff with MQQT, though. Just for kicks. Okay, does anything work? Can anyone tell me if anything works? Like, we're definitely now have enough features where there's probably stupid bugs. Okay, Buck Bunny is shown. It's visible. We pause it. We play it, it comes back. We hide it, pause it, play it. It's still hidden, but we can now show it. And we can do like top, right, small, mute. And we can do YT, hide, unmute. I misspelled unmute. YT hide unmute. YT show mute. Small bottom right. Okay. TTD. Scott made this. So the state of mute and unmute is not going to travel between the two, but the sizing and positioning will. So this would be, Scott made this top, right, mute. It's broken. Why didn't that work? Oh, okay. Wait. Because of bad cut and paste. I out here, actually. Oh, here. Yeah, we don't get a URL, we get a channel. Let me hide the old guy. So there's a channel. And you are a channel. Okay. TTV top right mute. What have we done? So we have a channel. Did I do this right? Let channel. Channel equals argument substring 1. TTV show. So why did you not default to show? So we said, look for channels. We definitely found it. We have play, we have channel, we have hide, we hide it. Otherwise, oh, we have this dumb bug again. Okay, that's just a dumb bug. Dumb typo. Okay, that was top right mute, TTV, hide, unmute, unmute, TTV, unmute, TTV, unmute, pause, TTV, play, should play but should still be hidden. Okay, we messed up. That is, we just have a typo. It's this. We're gonna have to like, life is yours. I need you to automate 100 tests for this, please. TTV, hide, unmute, unmute, TTV, unmute, pause, TTV. Unmute. Now we're paused. TTV, play, should still be hidden. Play, should still be hidden. Okay, play, TTV, should still be hidden. Okay, mute, play. Okay, TTV, pause. Okay, TTV play. It seems like it resumes to the livest moment. Right? There's no like, I don't know if you can not do that. Okay. Kyle, I did not really mean to spend 3 hours on that, but here we are. So give it a whirl. I feel like there has to be bugs in it because there's just so many. There's a few too many. It's like definitely getting to the way there's moving parts. Okay, the mature button. Let's triple check. So what did it actually say? Let's see. PPV. Looks. Well, it didn't say mature this time. Maybe because I approved it one time. So what's another, who else should I try? What other mature stream should I try? Am I going to go to prison? Oh, no. Okay, who's number one?
And so I was...
Sweet Anita has Tourette's, so pretty sure she's going to be marked as mature, right? But maybe because I approved one mature video, now they're all approved? I don't know. What did I do? Where are you, video, please?
Stationary. They're just easier exercises. Yes.
So maybe that mature thing, okay, here's the thing that's going to be annoying though, is like, that doesn't matter in OBS. OBS don't care. So let's try video, please. Turn it on. Put it up here. Let's refresh. Okay. Bikinis, are you I don't want to go to jail forever. TTV. So this is probably going to show the mature thing. I bet.
The butt, the belly, all of
Wait,
it, right?
it worked. Why?
And then we do a warm up. So I've got some 6 kilo.
I have no idea why we didn't get it. Well, but you think if it would fix it once, it would fix it in, I don't know. You're gonna have to experiment it. So I could imagine it like setting a cookie in one browser, but I'm in a different browser. So maybe she's not marked as mature. Pretty sure she is, because she swears every 2 seconds because she has Tourette's. I don't know how Twitch works. Beth be rad? Are you mature? Like now I don't see any mature warnings.
We don't know.
Okay, let me just open some random other browser maybe. Let's try. Okay, now when I went to it, it did give me the mature thing in another browser. And in fact, when I went to it again on Twitch, it gave it to me. So that's weird. We're all going to jail. Twitch was a bad idea. Never should have happened. I don't know, man. That's kind of weird, huh? I would not have expected that to work. Who else? A lot of bikinis on Twitch today. Why is that? Spring break time? Here's the person who's blowing stuff up. I'm Jasmine. So that looked like it said mature, and then it didn't. So, like... I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't know why it seems like it's working. What is she doing? What is she doing? Oh, no. TV, clear. Okay. That was... It's exercise. I don't know. Give it. Okay. Well, I'll be in prison, so that's fine. Should I mark my stream as mature and then try to embed myself? How do I do that? Audience. Oh, you can't. In a running stream, you can't change it to mature from... Okay. Oh. I have to say, it's like bordering on the line of being a little too annoying. Because it's once you you reach like a threshold of number of features that are all interdependent, and you start to have to test those, definitely have to outsource it to Life is Yours. Is that true? You can't do that? I'm in trouble. Kyle's gonna get me in trouble. Okay, you're all going to prison. Whatever, have fun in jail. So... Wait, the God frame. What's the God frame? Is that a new feature? I like this wallpaper. Oh, just stick any website that you want? That's actually not that hard. Some web browsers don't let you do that. I mean, some websites don't allow themselves to be stuck in an iframe, weirdly enough. Like, you can say that. Which, you know, to avoid, like, phishing attacks or something, you can't just embed, like, Bank of America in an iframe and then pretend to be Bank of America. What is an example of a website you would want to throw up? Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do anything with it. I mean, you know, you could theoretically scroll, like scroll up, scroll down, things like that. Page up, page down. Theoretically, you could do that. Oh, like throw up. That didn't work. Oh boy. Yes, you could have heat. Oh man, now you're getting serious. Why can't I open that website? Copy link. Oh. Well, but how would you do it if you couldn't interact with anything? Can you pass stuff in the URL or something? Because it couldn't be anything that you have to interact to. Heat doesn't take drag. No, it doesn't. You could you could sort of fake it, but not really. You could like interpolate between. How we don't even do up, we only do down. So you'd add like, you could have heat up and down arrows or something. Yes, it's true. We do have the robot that lets you click, but if this is embedded inside of inside OBS, I don't think OBS gives you a way to talk to the browser directly. Like inside, you know, like you could certainly have a window up, whatever, and do stuff. But if this is a URL that's in OBS, now maybe if it was like already inside of a room or something. I want a new room, general. The streamer screen. Okay, so this is the streamer screen. Is that what you're saying? Like this is what goes on screen? So like you could throw this up. Okay, go here. I mean, in this case, you don't have to click, right? Like this is just the streamer screen, so this just straight up goes into, like this just goes into OBS basically. So you would try to load this in an iframe, is what you're saying? So you would be able to say like website and then give it this URL, and then that would get embedded in an iframe. I wonder if they let you. But made this rude. Wow. I kind of wish I'd never done Scott made this, but now it's too late. I can't change now. I had reasons for doing it at the time, but now. Okay, start. How does this game work? Wait, so this is supposed to go. How does anything work? So you're telling me this is supposed to be in here? Like this? I lost my turn. Uh-oh, wait, what happened? I wasn't looking. How does this? Okay, it's your turn. Wait, you lost your turn too. We're not doing a good job. We're actually doing a poor job, turns out. It's your turn. Horse. Poop. I win. I guessed it. Oh, it's a volcano. Wait. Is it poop or is it a volcano? It's definitely poop. I win already. Poop. Wow. Kilimanjaro. Mount Kilimanjaro. I don't know about this game. Is that a genie and a magic lamp? Is that a conch? Lord of the Flies. How do you play this game? What am I looking at here? Okay, clamp. I'm doing a bad job. Did they give you the thing to draw? Is that how that's how it works, right? Kettle. That was a bad kettle. I'm gonna say that was not. Okay. Oh, it's a tooth. Perfect. Tooth fairy. Very good. What'd you get it? Wait, did you already get it? No, nobody got it. Okay. This is not very good. Not doing a very good job. Can I fill? You're getting censored? What's going on here? Maybe I did a bad job. You're so close. I blew it. Okay, I think we're done with this game. Done with this. I don't trust you people. Okay, we can probably do that. You know, that sounds a little more like... Once you want to switch a whole website, you could do that with the... I think there's a way to talk to OBS through... I might be wrong about this. Let's see. I thought there was a way to... Is this different than the normal browser? Is this different than the browser it comes with? Is this like a separate plugin? Okay, it's part of OBS Studio. So I think there's a way to, like, from a browser, just tell OBS what to do. So in other words, you could theoretically, like, have one browser show a new browser interface. That might be annoying to set up. And so I guess we maybe sometime, I'm going to get back to working on Volume 1 the rest of this week probably, but maybe we'll try... Next time we work on this, maybe we'll try the iframe stuff, but I definitely know some websites just do not allow you to embed things in iframes. So you can get statuses of things. I think maybe you can only get info, kind of. Like you can't, okay. Yeah, give it a shot. So I just don't know how much you can get a bunch of events. I just don't know how much a browser can talk back. You know, like in a browser source. So you get overlays and whatever. Browser docs. So what does that mean? It doesn't look like you can actually do that much. You can get event callbacks. You can get the current scene. You can get the output status. You can do a save replay buffer. I don't know what that means. You can know when the browser changed active or inactive. That's true. That's true. But then people draw nightmare things on the screen, I'm sure of it. Yeah, we'll just have to see. We'll just see like what supports an iframe or not. Okie dokie. Give that thing a shot. See if it works. It's dark again. Let's push this button. Push this button. Push this button. Brighter. Yeah, great. An extension designed to get his banned as quickly as possible. Very good. You know, there is a thing. Actually, okay, one more thing before we stop, because there is where was that? One of the ML things we were looking at. It's like deep. There's like some deep. What was that site that just had? Would like look for profanity. Maybe it's the Azure content mon. That looks for language though. There was something that would like look for some ML thing we looked at that would look for lewd images. What was that site? Anyway, it would be kind of funny to like let people draw on your screen, but then try to detect. I think it'd be hard to do reliably, like to try to actually detect real-time profane content. I think would not be. To play VODs. You're welcome. VODs we couldn't do yet. We didn't add it. We theoretically could. But currently no, because you need some way to know what the yeah. Put it on the back burner. Put it in the backlog. As far as like what it was meant to detect, I don't remember. It was one of the ML things we were looking at. Actually, it was like online GPT-2. It was somewhere that had GPT-2. Should we get into a bunch of ML stuff? I don't know if I really want to. It wasn't Hugging Face. What was it? I never got my GPT-3 approval. deepai.org. I think it was it was these people. So they have some kind of, so they have nudity detection, exposed buttocks, male breast exposed, and male breast exposed. Female breast covered, female breast covered. Buttocks exposed, female breast covered. Okay, very good. Good job. It's weird that they call it nudity detection though, because they're clearly wearing clothes. Which just returns a value between 0 and 1. Great. But that's not the one I was thinking of. The one I was thinking of was... This is the weirdest one. This one does not work very well, but it's so weird. It just turns whatever text into an image. So you'd be like, robot donkey. This is, okay. Mailbox. That kind of looks like a mailbox. Horse. Nice try. Okay. Sort of like a horse. Carrot. Well. Yeah. This one's not very good. It's a little bit, yeah, maybe you think of ferret. Oh, how cute. So it has like two bodies and one head. Cat. That's a pretty convincing cat. Oh, I hit the rate limit. Anyway. Is this one? Ugh. Seems busted. Okay. Somewhere. Pix to Pix is super cool. Content moderation. Image and videos detect the presence of adult content, hate symbols, guns, and offensive words found amongst text within images. Gun. Bad. There's a bad word. Confederate flag. Gun. Male breast exposed. Okay, great. Let's just moderate everything. Let's run every frame of the video through this and get, 1 frame per second or whatever. It's so easy. Yeah, why doesn't Twitch just... It's so easy. Look how easy is this. What if I show a skeleton? URL upload? Image URL. Skeleton image. Let's see. Okay, that's not obscene. If I search for butt on Bing, it's probably going to be bad. Butt. Am I going to regret this? Okay. Here's a butt. Copy link. I was wrong. A copy image location. Copy image link. Buttocks exposed. I know. It was risky. Google safe search. I'm trusting. Okay, is this a butt like not exposed? No, it's still exposed apparently. Interesting about the Confederate flag. What about this gross fake butt? Okay, that one's fine. What about Norway flag? Is it going to think it's a Confederate flag? That will be funny if it does. Copy image link. Okay, you got away with it. You got away with it, life is yours. There definitely have been issues in the US with people mistaking a Confederate flag for a Norwegian flag, which is real dumb, but that's welcome to America. I'm actually, okay, I'm impressed. Good job. Cool. No. Well, it didn't get that one. So it can't even get a normal Confederate flag? Should I? Okay. I feel like I'm going to start searching for things that I should not search for on stream because I really want to try to fire this thing off. Cyberpunk 2077. That guy's got a gun. Well, maybe not. Is it because the gun is very slightly cropped? But this guy. Cool. Is that Geralt? Female breast covered. Is this a Cyberpunk Geralt? So basically what we've determined is this AI is foolproof. It's like you can't... It's unbeatable. Unbreakable. I mean... How about this? Female breast exposed, female breast exposed, female breast exposed. Checks out. I got that one. Good job. Mm-hmm. What are we doing? What are we doing with ourselves? This is too much. Oh, what if we did like the monster from inside? The flesh monster? What was that thing called? I want a really good picture of the creature from inside. That game's great. That's a good game. Like none of these gross. How about this? Male genitals exposed. Totally in the clear. Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough. Add screenshot to the search. You think we need to should we I mean, we could add more to that API. We could do whatever we want. We could like probably do something where we just grab from the stream and feed straight through it. Oh, Kyle, you don't have to do that. No. You should buy something nice for yourself for Christmas. You definitely don't have to do that. You gave me something to do on stream. That is a very nice Easter Bunny costume. Okay, we should probably try that. What was it called? Deep AI? I already lost the thing. What was it called? Copy image link. Let's see here. Let's see if that's inappropriate. No, it's totally fine. Nothing inappropriate at all. So you've got nothing to worry about. I kind of want to, okay, let's just take a screenshot of the Twitch. Like if we just went to just chatting and just looked at the homepage and just took a screenshot of the whole. Just chatting front page. Okay, we just did, how do you force the screenshot to go to a file? I forgot. Can you? Like, can you force, how do you take a screenshot and have it go to straight to a file without having, do you have to use snip? This guy, whatever it is, this guy, snip and sketch. Will this go to a file? Okay, let's just take this. Great. Save, desktop. Just curious. I'm just curious. No, it's fine. Look, there's nothing wrong with it. Everything is fine. So, no problem. You got no problems here. Twitch is in the clear. Yeah, not a single issue. So, great. Then that's fine. However, this guy, inappropriate. Okay. I think it's lunchtime. Kyle, enjoy. Hope it works. Maybe we'll try the embedded thing next time we work on it. I think tomorrow we'll get back to volume 1. Maybe sometime this week we'll do processing. I ordered okay, I maybe made it. There was a Woot deal yesterday. They had all these chocolate deals, and there's a certain kind of chocolate granola that I get that I eat with my smoothies every day because like I live on smoothies. And they it was on sale for a pretty good deal, so I brought 3 cases of it. It was probably too much. There's a lot of chocolate granola coming to my house. Oh God, new features. Oh God, oh God. Kyle, why don't you just learn to programming? You've been watching the streams. You know how to do it now. What do you mean by autoplay Twitch? Oh, just have it like just play like a playlist or something? Or what do you mean? Oh, like you play. But like, how does it know what the next thing to play is? Because you gave it a playlist? Or how does it know what's next in the list? Oh, like it just randomly picks the next thing? So I think, okay, just to be clear, pretty sure that Twitch Embed API already supports So technically Twitch supports channel or a video or a collection. So yeah, I don't know. I don't, so okay. Anyway, so first thing, Twitch. I think we could add VODs. It's just we'd probably have to like do a new URL kind of parser sort of doodad. But that's something that's already supported, I think. We would have to figure out, you know, how to parse it. So that's probably the easiest of the three. The YouTube player API. What was your other question? Twitch VODs? Yeah, the search is probably the most annoying, unless it was just totally its own function. But so what are the, because it wants a URL, large video by here, excuse me. You can queue things up. So you could theoretically do like a queue, although we'd really have to manage all that. I don't think that'd be kind of a new feature. Playlist. So you can do a playlist and then, okay, so it doesn't look like you get it for free, but it looks possible. It looks like you can get a playlist. How do you get the, so you can do set shuffle. So those would maybe be possible. I would say of those three, Twitch, yeah, I mean, it just, I don't know. Like the autoplay, I'm not sure. We'd have to look and see what it actually does if you just, if there's a way to do that. Like if it even knows about a video that's the next video in an embedded player. I don't know. I would say of those three that the Twitch VOD is probably the easiest, because we would just have to add URL parsing to the Twitch dude and then it would work. And then maybe by that, maybe the YouTube playlist, we'd have to actually dig in and see how it works a little bit. What it looks like, unfortunately, is like we'd have to have we would have to build the thing to do it. Like we would have to build something that got, what's confusing though, oh, actually, wait, maybe we can't. So if you want a playlist, okay, so actually search and playlist are kind of the same thing, sort of, which is weird. Data API search.list method to retrieve search results and then load selected videos in the player. What? Well, that gives you a collection of search results, but that's not the same as a YouTube playlist. That's kind of weird. So maybe you can't just do like a, I mean, maybe you have to do that totally independently, actually. Like maybe the player just doesn't support that. So you'd have to build something. This is playlist. Load playlist sure looks like a thing. No, it's literally a list of video IDs. Oh. That's kind of weird. Why is there not? Oh, I see. Search is all that left. So you still should be able to show a list. I don't know. We'll have to dig a little deeper. Okay. VODs next week if I ever want to work on this again. Who can say? I think you're ready. I think you're ready to work on it. I think you got what it takes. Thank you. I will. Have a lovely day. Thanks for hanging out, Kyle. Thanks for hanging out. Life is yours. And I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll probably do more volume 1 stuff. It'd be lovely to finish that this week. Kind of ready to be done with it forever. Maybe I'll stream more today. Later today. I don't know. Okay, bye.